After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 369. Today is Saturday, August 24th, 2019, as we are recording. I am Marlecia, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I am Tully, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
Want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. We're glad to have you with us. If you are new, we hope you find something that you like. And if you are not new, we're glad to have you back.
Usually you say if you're returning, but
I couldn't think of the word. We're glad to have you back, as always. And if you are in the shadows, either new or returning, please feel free to subscribe to the YouTube page, channel, whatever it's called. YouTube channel. Just press the little subscribe button on your right and hit the little bell so you can get subscription notifications for whenever we put something up. And we'd love to have you join us also at the PHN home. It's phnpodcast.freeforms.net. That's where we do all the alongs and the chatter and the support and giveaways and all that neat kind of stuff. So that's phnpodcast.freeforms.net. Okay?
we'd love to see you there. I know I haven't been as active as I'd like. I do hope to get more active.
Yeah, I haven't been as active either. Last week was kind of the pinnacle of getting things done. I did finally get caught up on one of the threads, but I hope to be more active now. Okay. Now, moving... Oh, I just have water today. I had my breakfast out with my friends. We had another friend join us. So that was really nice. We weren't planning on it. It was kind of a last-minute, spur-of-the-moment thing because we were not able to do it all month. So it was really a lot of fun. So I'm doing water today in my very fashionable Modell's, like, 25-year-old water bottle.
How does yours stay in such good shape? Like, anyone I've ever had gets all green and nasty.
I don't know.
Or do you tend to refrigerate yours more?
I do.
That would explain it, because I don't care for super cold water.
I don't either anymore, and it doesn't. I don't refrigerate as much as I used to.
But that being said, let me pull my tails in.
Okay,
Hang on, I'm drinking water too with my Normalite in it, and one of my two Contigo water bottles.
And we're hoping to get back to the tea as the weather cools down.
Yeah. And also once we are not like running. Usually, what prevents us is, we're running a bit late.
Yes, we always because my friend was really sweet. She made an effort to get to mass, the early mass, at 7 instead of the one at 8:30. So we're a little ahead, but we're still running late. So it was. I really appreciated her effort on that. But when we're kind of rushing around to get started, we don't usually take the time to make the tea.
Because we don't do simple tea. We do
steeping and all that kind of stuff. And we also, my husband wants to do a whole bunch of things this afternoon to do the finishing touches on the bathroom and that kind of stuff. We'll go into that at the end of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we both have water.
Yes. But mine's more awesome.
Andy is having sale right now.
I'm trying not to look.
I know. I want to get
because
stuff.
I have too much tea and I'm not drinking enough right now.
Yeah, I have to drink some of mine before I can buy more of Andy's tea because I kind of got off of drinking tea with all that was going on, except for my chai tea in the morning. But I think now that the cooler weather is coming, I'll start picking up again, and then I can start buying more of Andy's tea. Excuse me. Okay, so let's go into the charities. As always, we accept anything you feel called to give. Okay, and I'm not going to go into anything except that we accept it all. We're grateful to your generosity. It goes to Evans House or the Front Royal Pregnancy Center and Evans House.
Evans Home.
Evans Home. And the contact person for us for Evans Home is from our local yarn shop It's Laura. She is Gracie's Mom 62, and her yarn shop is Knitter's Magic in Winchester, Virginia. So if you're in that area, please do stop in and see her. She's
They
amazing.
carry Mom's yarn.
Yes, they do. And she's awesome. She has all kinds of classes, a little cute shop, and she has all kinds of big stuff. I mean, she does classes, she does all kinds of stuff, and she's amazing.
The classes look like they would be fun.
I wish I could go to them, but it's kind of a little bit of a distance for me to get there, and finding a place for Davina to do stuff. I guess she could attempt the class, but she doesn't knit, she only crochets.
Yeah.
So.
Well, not only, but
No,
yeah.
no, only
She,
that,
she doesn't prefer working patterns for the most part.
no,
anyway.
she doesn't. So she would probably end up drawing.
It's frustrating to her.
And because there are usually people around a table, there wouldn't be a place for her to sit. So
Also, I feel like it's kind of harder for left-handed crocheters. You almost have to flip.
yeah, I
patterns
don't
in your
know.
head.
I don't know. She yeah. Okay. So that's one of the charities, or two actually, if you consider the pregnancy center. And then the other one we like to promote is Brittany, who is B-Wing, and her Comforting Crafts. So those are, if you don't know where to send your stuff, you can send them to one of those three areas. We'll make sure it gets out to the people who needs to get them. Okay? Who need to
needs
get
to?
them. Yeah, I know. I said it, and my head was like, that's not right. Who need to get them.
Gosh, it's surprising that I speak English as well as I do.
You don't speak English well as you do.
I don't speak it as well as I do.
Nope. You just think you do.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't have to.
Yes, it
All
kind
right.
of does. That's
The-
how communication works.
The Yarn and I Cappy podcast, okay, group. They're having the I Heart Mickey Cow Cow Lao. I love Mickey. And that started, I don't remember when it started, but it goes until November 18th. The rules are in her group, but you can contact her if you're not in her group to see what the rules are. And I'm not sure how she would work it if you're not on Ravelry anymore.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how she would work it, but you can ask her. And Cappy's fantastic. She has a new podcast up. I don't know if I mentioned it last week or not. I think I might have, but she's always fun. She's very informative. And
She's a new podcast episode up.
Episode.
Let's
Yes, yes, she's
qualify. She didn't start a brand new podcast.
No. So she's fun, and she had all that yarn that she's got going for this. I think she's going to some kind of fiber festival. I forget where it is, but she's doing all that stuff. And check out her Etsy shop. She has yarn and notions and all kinds of stuff. I think her husband is selling hats there. I think. I'm not sure if he has it there or what they're doing with that, but okay. So that's hers. And then we have Crocheting Hoovian podcast group, and she's still doing the creature feature Cow Cow Lao with Darkfire Woman from the Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal. And Laura does have something set up for us who were members of her group when we were on Ravelry but are no longer on Ravelry. You can do a Facebook page
There's Facebook. Yeah,
group where you put the pictures that you're going to be entering into her alongs there. And if you're not on Facebook, I believe she has an email for that as well. I think everything is in the group. So this is, I think right now she said it was Woolly and Wild or something. I don't know. And I think next quarter is Fantastical Creatures or something. But anyway, it's those amigurumis, and if you do it in the theme, you have 2 chances of a prize. And if you don't do it in the theme, it's just one for the FO, just 1 chance at a prize. She's also doing a Whip It Good, which is finishing your projects. I believe she also said if you rip it out. And I believe if you rip it out, you have to have the before and after pictures.
Which makes sense.
That would be my thought. And then, of course, she's doing Tortoise versus Hare with us. And that one ends next week, the end of next week. It's Sunday.
Really?
Not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
It
The
ends
first.
before. Oh, I guess it is only a month.
What?
Wait, why does it end before September? Does it run the length of Cardiac, or is it 1 month?
Yeah, we're done with Cardiac September.
At the end of September.
October, November. Do we have another month?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking I was going to pull for prizes for next week.
Because it's usually through September, because...
July, August, September. Yeah, you're right. All of September. So,
Yeah.
okay, so we do have another month. My mistake. You do have another month.
You
Breathe easy, all you people who are doing
You told me this last week.
I know, I just can't think. So, July, August, September. So we run through the October 1st is when we pull for prizes for that. And Cardiac and all that. Okay, so, and these are tortoises and hares. Taya's patterns are in our group. Okay, it's us and Brittany with Laura. Laura asked us to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
and for our group, Taya's patterns, tortoise and hare patterns. Laura's tortoise and hare patterns, her new ones that are coming out. I have to get mine started. And then
I have to figure out what it'll count for because I'm not going to.
Well, there's one of each.
Okay, I haven't looked. I have it in my box, but I think that was the same week I was having a lot of issues.
I think the only one she's given us right now is the tortoise.
Okay, that's okay.
And then any of Studio Von Designs, tortoise or hares, and any pattern that can be, like if you do my shawl and call it the tortoise beats the hare or whatever, then, or it's in a tortoise versus hare, tortoise color, like Laura's sea turtle colorway or something like that, then it also, we're not just doing toys. It's anything that's tortoise or hare, and if it's my yarn or Laura's yarn, it's a featured yarn, and it's 2 chances at a prize. Any of the featured patterns for tortoise versus hare, mine, Talia's, Laura's, or Studio Von Designs, those are all 2 chances at a prize. And if you marry the yarn and the pattern, then it's 3 chances at a prize. I think that's everything for Laura at this point. I think she's finished. She pulled for her other one. And then Comforting Crafts is Brittany is doing What Are You Reading? 19 hats in 2019, 52 dishcloths in 2019, and color work. Okay, I believe that's only in her Ravelry group. I don't think she's doing it on her Comforting Crafts Facebook page. That's just for her charity, I believe. And then Vonnie is doing 19 of whatever. And again, that one's just in Ravelry. Excuse me. Let me have a drink of water here. Okay. Now, in our group, we have the PHN Tea and Tales, and that's a year-long Cal Lao. Our lovely co-host is Cappy, and Cappy has been very generous with us. She has given us coupon codes for her shawl kit that she developed. The shawl 4 hour long. It's the Tea and Tales shawl, only spelled T and Tails. And there's a reason for it. You can see it in the pattern. And we have a substantial coupon code for that kit, okay? And we also have a coupon code for everything in her shop. It's in our dedicated Cappy thread, okay? So we're very grateful for that. And this along started January 1st and goes till the end of the year. We are coming up on the end of the third quarter, and actually you just said that the third quarter actually ends in September, the end of September. So we have one more month of the third quarter, which is good. So I'm going to read the rules here, and then I'll just change the rules when I talk about our other Cal Laos as it applies, so I don't have to go through all the rules. The projects must be lit, loom knit, or crocheted. Previous whips are allowed, but they must be worked on during the along. Chatter and pictures are all in the same thread, and the projects must be tied in some way, shape, or form to the theme of the theme. Yes, the theme of tea and or tales, not the tea of theme or tales. Okay, so it's books, novelizations, graphic novels, children's books, short stories, things like that. Okay, 1 whip per project per week. The FO whenever it's finished. Okay. The featured patterns, as I said, I didn't say yet. Cappy's pattern, her shawl. Talia's patterns, my patterns. Joanna Johnson's patterns, that's loom knit. No, that's knit. Mom Cook's patterns, those are loom knit. And I believe we said Studio Von Designs as well. If you can get it, yes, we did. If you can have it relate to tea and or tails, and then the yarns are my yarns and Cappy's if they relate to tea and or tails. And if you have a featured yarn with a featured pattern, it's 3 chances at a prize for the FO. Okay, and you are responsible always when you have multiple chances at a prize. You are responsible for your own multiple postings. Okay. It's hashtag PHNTNT 2019 on Instagram. So if you want to be sharing it on Instagram. Let me see here. The prizes. I'm not going to go through the prizes right now. Okay, we already talked about tortoise versus hare, right? I went through that already with Laura's stuff. why do I think there's another one, PHNT02? Oh, cardiac and dysautonomia.
Yes.
The cardiac dysautonomia is still going strong. That one goes through the end of September. The rules are basically the same, except that the colors have to be substantially shades of blue or teal, red or pink. Okay, and I do have a few more skeins up in the shop of the, if it's not a zebra, if it's not a horse, it might be a zebra, and Telltale Heart. The 20% code, coupon code, is in the I think it's in my Lady Furnicle Creations update thread, is the code for the 20% off of those two colorways until the end of September. Okay, so that's October 1st, I think it stops. So if you still want those colorways, there are a couple in the shop if you want them. And I am doing updates for that as well, for other things. Let me see, what was I going to say about that? Cardiac dysautonomia, I said the colors, and it's basically the same, so I'm not going to go through anything else. The featured patterns, my patterns, Taya's patterns, featured yarns, my yarns. Basically, that's it. Okay. Taya, do you have to say anything about cardiac? Do you want to wait till the end when we do our...
Yeah, we usually wait till the end.
Okay. The hashtag for this is hashtag PHNCDA 2019 on Instagram. All right, let me see here. That's tortoise versus hare. Okay, I guess we're on whips.
Okay.
And I have 7 and you have 7, so...
But I went first last time with equal numbers, so you go first this
Yep,
time.
I will go first this time. Now, I thought I would have this one done, but I don't. This is in my Stitched by Mimi Sandy bag, teacups bag. I love this. And this is my bonfire shawl from the Sock Knitter Shawl by K.F. Jones. And I did a couple rows on this.
Well, the thing is, it gets so much longer toward the end.
It is quite long. And I only have like maybe 4 rows before I start the border. So I'm not that far away from it. It's just, it takes forever to get through.
Well, that was something I do recall from when I was working it a long time ago.
And I think there's at least one section where I have to double the number of stitches. And I think that row is going to take just one sitting.
Yeah.
So, it is growing. And this is a nice shawl. K.F. Jones, K, Bakery Bears, does a really super easy pattern to follow. And this is one of her earlier ones, I think. I've had this on the needles for a very long time.
Yeah, I feel like it is one of her earlier
I have
ones.
another one of these on the needles as well, in a green kind of color.
It might have been her first shawl pattern.
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure Sock Knitters was her first.
No, I think the first one was not
Not
Neapolitan. The other one, the Duchess of Devonshire.
You think so? Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long
This
time
was
ago.
very early.
This was an
on.
early one, very early one, and this is going to be a nice size shawl. It's very, very pretty, and I thank the person who said how pretty the color was. Thank you very much. I think it was Lorraine on YouTube. Thank you very much. I do like this very, very much, and I'm using Xiaogu's. I think I'm using, I'm using US 9s. That's 5.5 millimeters, and the yarn is Miss Babs Yowza What a Skein in the Reishi colorway, and the border will be in Vlad's, which is a red, kind of rust red kind of color.
Now, let me mark this row. Alrighty, so my first project is one I really didn't work a whole ton on. In my Slip Stitch Studios Firefly bag is another bag, which is my Silver Shed USA Crocheting Hovian bag. Well, first let's show Bunny Body hasn't changed any. This is Bo the Lapland Bunny by Mary Jane's Tea Room. My project's name is Han. And Han's ear did not get a whole ton of work. I think I just didn't...
You've been having issues with the ear.
Well, I think I was still mad at it from when it curved last time, so I haven't been able to bring myself to work on this terribly much. So once I get over my snit with it, I'll probably...
This is going to be really pretty when it's done.
Oh yeah, I think I just need to... I mean, now, like I said, I'm still kind of mad at the ear because of the way the last one turned out. And I'm wondering if maybe that was the way it was supposed to be and I just misunderstood or whatever.
You'll see.
I'll see. But right now, it's kind of in timeouts. I force myself to work on it a little bit because it won't get to the point where I'll be less mad at it if I don't work on it.
Well, sometimes you need a little time away from it.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is in my Knitting Magic.
Knitter's Magic?
Yes, I'd have knitting down here, but Knitter's Magic. Let's try this one last time. Knitter's Magic, large lavender flowers on a dark field bag. From our local yarn store. This is my Welcome Little One project from the On the Porch blanket by 5410 Studio. I'm using US 10.5 Chow Goose for this. I didn't have anything to measure this with when I was working on it, so I only did one row on it. I didn't want to get too far and mess up my pattern, but this takes up a lot of yarn. I mean, this is the first skein of bulky, and
Well, bulky goes fast anyway.
or maybe
There
this
doesn't tend to be a lot of yardage with bulky.
This looks like I have a partial from something. I don't know.
Was it
Okay.
from the shawl?
Yeah, probably a shawl. So this is, right now it's a very mindless knit because it's just garter stitch. And I'm looking forward to when I can start showing you a pattern on here. But I like working it. I like 5410 Studios. Even though I haven't yet finished one, I've always enjoyed it. It's just that something happens and I make a mistake or I get called away from something and I'm like, oh, I'll finish this later, and then I just pull it out. So I'm hoping I can actually finish this one because I'm enjoying it. I always enjoy their patterns, and they're very sweet over there.
Okay. So, next for me, I feel like I pulled my stitches weirdly. Hope it's not going to block out, but hopefully when I weave in ends, that'll fix some of that puckering. Okay, anyway, I want to move this big bag that's taking up so much room here. Here we go. Don't have this bulk next to me. Then on this side. So,
Rude bag.
this is the... Let me bring up the pattern name. Hang on, just bring up Lovecrafts for the pattern name because I never remember it.
Oh yeah, that's the something bunny.
Sunny Bunny. Not my library. Oopsie. No, stop it. Technical issues. Hold on.
We're now experiencing technical difficulties.
Okay, projects. So I call this my sweet bunny baby blanket, and the pattern is crochet baby blanket / Afghan Sunny Bunny, and it is by Pattern World.
She has some beautiful stuff.
Here's what the
So
finished
cute.
blanket will look like. And
Yarns all over the place.
I do, which is why I don't work on this when I'm tired. You can see where the bunny is starting to form. The tail is right here. There's the feet.
Does that have a pom-pom for the tail as well, or is it just a tail?
It's just tail. And we've got the edges, and then the green are the border in the green is Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton, and then the light blue is
Okay.
Pound of Love, and I wish I could remember the name of the color, but the creamsicle is the whitish, pinkish kind of color.
This is probably some kind of turquoise or something.
I think it is probably turquoise. But yeah, there you go.
Very pretty.
It's at least starting to form a little something. You can see the little grass near the bunny. It's just that I can't work on this if I'm having any trouble focusing because I had to do things like remember to carry my floats and things like that. And make sure I carry it on the right side, depending on if I'm on the right side.
Somebody was talking about, it was Cozy Up Knits. They were talking about carrying flows. I think it was Jamie who had to tear some. I wasn't watching, I was listening, so it might not have been Jamie, but one of them was saying that they had to tear back because, and I think it was on her own design. I got all excited because I think she's doing a mosaic. I have to ask her if she's doing a mosaic, because if that is the case, I really want to do that. But yeah, she's cute. All right, my next one is in my PHN Blue Sweater Size Silver Shed USA Podiversary 500 member bag.
Now you don't carry yarn and mosaic quite the same way. Don't you work just one yarn each row?
Yeah, you do. But she was talking about 2 colors, so I got excited for a minute. So I don't know.
Because I was going to say, I thought that the way mosaic was made up.
You carry it, but you carry it. You don't really carry it. It stays on one end, and you do slip stitches.
That's what I thought.
Until you do the stitches, and then you do slips. You knit the
ones in your color.
The one in the color. You knit the one in the color that you're working in, and you slip stitch the ones that you're leaving behind.
Right, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I have had no desire to work mosaic, but that's the way I understood it.
I love mosaic. All right, this is The Secret Garden from the Life Changes pattern by Laura Concert. I actually did maybe 3 or 4 rows on this the other night when I was sitting, because it's still small. I'm not anywhere near getting out of this color yet. I know, Laura, I am the slowest knitter on the face of the planet. But I'm working on it. Finally got some work. So I really like this. I like it. I don't usually work in fingering weight, but she did me a favor by making these US 7s. So it's going to be a nice light
And then
pattern.
a different Laura taught you into picking up fingering weight for it.
Well, no, Laura. Yeah, I guess she did. I guess she did.
She was like, no, I think she was like, well, you it's going to work so much better, and it's going to be on 7s.
So it's just like, I don't remember the exact conversation. I don't know what I did here. I'm very talented. I've got my needles tangled up somehow. These are not my ChiaoGoo's. These are my Knit Pro Zings, which are probably my second favorite needles. So I have them in this project because I didn't have any ChiaoGoo's. And they work really well. I like their tips. I don't care for the cord as much, but I like their tips.
You can get used to the cord.
Yeah. So it's amazing how it grows a little bit when you actually work on it. And this
Crazy tough.
This is the front. I took the owl stitch marker that I had here off because it was pulling on the stitches.
Yeah.
It was a little too heavy. So it usually doesn't have that much of an issue with it, but I think because it's fingering weight and because it is size 7s, the stitches are lighter and airier.
Well, that makes
sense. It was
sense.
pulling too much. So that's that. I'm enjoying this. I like the pattern. I haven't gotten into the lace yet, but I will get there eventually. Laura might be 75 by the time I finish it, but oh well.
Oh, well, indeed. So, I just need to finish this needle so I can show this.
Okay,
one.
I didn't go into the
sorry.
colorways.
Go into colorways. No, that gives me time to finish
that's
my
what
needle.
I was saying.
Yeah.
I'm using US 7s, which are 4.5 millimeters. I'm using Prima Merino 100% superwash merino and toe jelly tea, which is the blue that I'm using. The Blushing Bride, which is the pink, and the other one has slightly different base. It's Beyond Basics Knits Prima Superwash Merino Nylon 7525 in the Seagrass, and that's the green. So those are the colors that are in there.
And that gave me my opportunity, and I thank you. Okay, so in my Molly Klein Designs Cute Bunnies bag that Laura Concert gifted to me, is my Baby Bunny Beanie by, I always forget her name, and
I know it too.
I know
The
it.
minute you say I can't remember her name, I get like it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. Because I call this Summer Bunny, this project, and it's Baby Rabbit Beanie by Sandra Yeager.
Yeah, Jaeger. Mm-hmm.
It's like I knew it, but I couldn't pull it out of my brain. So I'm using, again, Yarn Bee Sweet Minis. This is Parakeet Parade. I feel like even though they're all quite bright, the bunnies still show up fairly well.
I almost think that it would have shown up.
I mean, it's not amazing, but it's better than the blues. I feel like it shows up better than the blues did.
Very cute.
It's very bright, but at least you can kind of tell there's something there. If you squint, you can tell it's bunnies.
You have to squint. We have to put sunglasses on for that.
Yeah.
It's very bright.
It's very bright.
It's not showing up as bright on the camera. Almost as bright.
Um,
It's very citrusy.
it is. They could have called citrus as well. So it's orange,
Would they end up calling it?
yellow, Parakeet Parade.
Oh.
And like a limey green. So this got quite a bit of work because it wasn't even started last time.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, in my Valeria bag is my Bells for Baby, and this is from the Cerebel Scarf pattern by Sarah Sweetheart. And this is a scarf, but I made it a blanket. I just adapted it, and I've done this before for other things. This thing has become, this pattern I've used for shawls and cowls and blankets, and I just like this stitch pattern. Oh, my hook here. Okay. So this is where I think I did maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 rows of this. I love this pattern. Isn't that pretty?
It is very
Can
pretty.
you see the pattern? It's
Yeah, they
just-
can.
It's just
It's
pretty.
very pretty.
Um,
Now, you were really a little concerned about the roughness of the yarn.
I was, and I'm going to probably throw it in the wash. It's an acrylic. It's, and it's still a little rough, but it's not as bad as I thought it was.
No, I think it'd be fine.
I just love the pattern. It's just so pretty. And when I contacted her when I was first doing stuff, she's very approachable, or was back when I started this pattern. The first time I did this
I
pattern.
mean, we're sure she still is, but
Yeah, I'm sure she is. I'm just qualifying that because it was years ago.
yeah.
She was just very sweet because I asked her how to, like, modify it. And then there was a project page on Ravelry that I actually contacted the lady, and she walked me through the multiples and things like that. And I actually kept her answer in a file in the folder with this so that I know how to do it if I want to, make a big, huge thing, or if I want to do something different. It's a very versatile pattern.
Oh, she's done variations on this thing so many times.
Yeah, I love this pattern. It's probably my favorite pattern that isn't one of Talia's. It's just, I just really like it.
Well, you've made double digits of some sort of Cerebella.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in my Silver Shed USA Nursing Caps on Pale Field bag is the, again I had to pull up Lovecraft for the pattern name. There it is. This project is called Augusta, and the pattern is Bunny and in parentheses Knitted Teddy by Knittables. This actually got a fair amount of work on it.
Is that another one of the ladies I want to try eventually?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's flats. You liked her bunnies.
Yeah.
I mean, our bunnies, her
Her teddy bears.
teddy bears. Is what I
I
meant to say.
probably won't do this color.
Well, I don't
just
think her
yet.
teddy bear has that. And I'm actually at the point where I'm not even carrying the white anymore. I'm down here. So,
There's no floats.
no, she didn't want you to do floats. You
So-
have 2 different yarns, 2 different blacks.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
You just have to make sure not to tangle them.
That's good.
Yeah, because she didn't want the black showing up against behind the white.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, she didn't have black. She had, like, gray.
Right, whatever
This
she
is
had.
very stark, what I chose, but it's what I had, and I thought this black was gorgeous.
That's a true black, I think.
It is, hold on.
Because sometimes they have an undercurrent of a blue or an
Yeah.
undercurrent of a red.
Trying to find the original tag. There it is. This is Lime Brand Yarns Heartland,
I like Heartland.
and this is Black Canyon colorway. I had picked this up with in mind to design a Cocker Spaniel,
Right. You were going to give that one to me.
but when I got sick, I haven't really been able to get my designing mojo back.
That may or may not come back. We'll see.
Right, it's just there's too much going on in my life to... First of all, I don't have the time anymore. Every day of the week I'm working, and
Well, 5 days a week you're working.
yeah, I work 5 days a week, and then when I get back home, I usually just need to recover, and designing takes too much brain power. And I don't have the ability to record the videos. I don't have the amount of time I used to.
Yeah.
And like I said, the brain power. But regardless,
Although I think all your techniques, that you could just refer them to other videos.
oh, it's
If that was the only
I used to like having placement videos for each particular
Right.
toy, but also it's just I don't have the creative.
Well, no, I was saying if you still had the creative,
Yeah.
you could always say, I have enough videos,
Yeah.
go here, and then let them,
Yeah.
you can show photos of where you
Yeah.
place it.
But yeah, and unfortunately, the brain power just
Right.
isn't there anymore. But there we go. We're almost there with the body. Then I can start thinking about other limbs. Did I not attach its? Oh, there it is. I must have
Oh.
taken off and not realized it.
Right. Okay.
But yes, this got a fair amount of work because it wasn't anywhere near that done last time.
Okay. I realized that I was very blanket heavy and didn't have a whole lot of other projects going, so I went ahead and pulled out one of the toys. This is in my Ploverbird teacups and teapots bag, and this is Dazzle the Zebra from the Lucky the Horse pattern by Little Muggles.
I approve of this pattern.
I am Talia Fernandez, and I approve of this pattern. So, I did about a row and a half of this, I think. I was doing this when I was watching a movie. I was like, you know what? A row, I think, is about all I can handle at this point because I kept decreasing. And if I'm watching a movie or whatever, I tend to mess up the decreases. And I'm really close to finishing this piece. So, that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, I only did about a row. I have actually bent this.
Oh my gosh, Mom.
I don't know how I did that. But I,
That's not the same one I use. Is that...
I don't know what this is. It was,
No, this is not the same brand.
it works really well.
But I use the
Clover.
Clover ones
I
that
do
are really
too.
good, and I feel like they're sturdy.
I use the Clover as well. I must have had a lot of pressure on this I'm not even sure I did on this project. It might have been when I was having some issues with, whatever. This is my yarn, and I think this particular yarn is this particular
Base.
not the base, but this. I think I might have used this for something else, or I don't know. It's split. It's a little splitty. I think probably because I'm using a smaller hook, and I catch between the plies, because it's not normal. If you look at it, it's not splitty.
No,
It's just I think I just catch it with the hook because it's a small hook for that yarn.
right.
Because I tend to have to use a smaller hook to get the gauge I need. Okay.
So
That's
hang
my
on.
notes.
Need to finish my last 4 stitches here.
Ah, no, I don't want to power off. There
I
we
have
go.
it do the same thing at times. Okay. And carry this, and then there we go. All right. So, I already showed this one, but the next one I want to show is in my Silver Shed USA Tortoise versus Hare. I think this was the second year.
No, I think the second. Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
The second year we had a bag.
yeah. Is that right?
The first year we had.
Yeah, because the first year we had tortoises and hares. The second
Yeah.
year we only had the tortoises or the hares on our. So this is the first year that we had the bags.
Oh.
Yeah, the 2017 is the one with the.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. So, I've got one sleeve, and I got 2 sleeves.
Pretty purple.
So,
Are they both finished?
yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So it's just that this was the easier way to carry it because,
Right.
I had to keep them on some sort of needles.
Oh, cute.
So,
Little baby sleeves.
little baby sleeves. I didn't feel like finding the spare yarn to put it on, so I just found extra needles and did it that way.
I was watching Cozy Up Knits and they were talking about needles and organizing and stuff, and Sarah's got all this, like, Sarah on this end, as I watch, has all this, like, organized, it's all organized, and then Jamie pulls out this bag, like, that's how I organize things, it's just boom.
That's the way my needles are too. But, still not done showing this project.
I know. You take too long
And this pattern is,
curling here.
yeah, it's meant to curl. Leave it curl.
Oh, that's right, but I
It's
want to
meant-
show how much progress you made, though.
It's meant to curl. Don't uncurl.
No,
it's
it
supposed
will.
to stay curl.
Yeah, I know that, but I want to show how much progress you made.
Hold on. This is the let me bring up the sweater. I call this a lavender bunny pullover.
Looks like a grape more than a lavender.
And then bunny yoke pullover. Its pattern name is bunny yoke pullover and hat for babies and children. So this is the pullover part. Let's see, let me do sideways. Oh, it doesn't make much of a difference. Okay. That's what the sweater will look like. And then the
Except it won't be pink.
hat. Yeah.
Make it clear.
But, need to go back. There we go. So I finished the sleeves, and they're on hold, and I'm now just knitting on the bottom. And
Just to show how long.
just to show, Mom keeps messing up my curl.
Well, it's going to curl back.
So there we go. And we're supposed to have a curl on the bottom.
Yeah.
But yes,
Is that a raglan sleeve thing, or is it?
I can't remember, Mom. I'm not very good at my sleeve types. I'm like, it's attached this way, and that's all I really care. I figure it doesn't make terribly much difference as long as it attaches.
You remind me of a certain person.
But
There we go.
there we are. So yeah, this actually got a fair amount of work, and actually this is going to stay out because I keep feeling like I'm about to mess up my color work here.
All right.
And I need to switch to something a little more mindless.
Okay, my next project is in my Kikiboo Bags Holiday Owls bag, and yes, it's coming around to that time of year again already. Not that it matters, I'm going to use this all year round. This is my Jazzy Toddler hat, and this is just a regular, loom knit hat. And the yarn is Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. It's a jazz stripe colorway. I thought this was jazz. Oh, it's print. I love this yarn print. So this is what it looks like in the scan. You've seen this many, many times on the projects I've done. From the bankhead to many of these little things. I made quite a bit of progress on this. I haven't had the brain power to branch out too much on the looms I've been given. Like Laura gave me some really beautiful, she gave me a beautiful loom this last time she sent a package, Laura Concert. And I can't wait to learn how to use that. And there are several tutorial, notably Loom Knit Hat, I forget what her name is. She has some wonderful tutorials out there. So does Nicole Cox. So I am looking forward to branching out. I have mom cook patterns that I need to try. I just haven't got the brain power, as Talia would say, to do it at this point. I've been too busy to focus. So right now I'm doing these. And this one has grown. I did several rounds on this. And that's all I have to say about that. I was trying to...
I forgot to say what this is. This is Knit Picks Brava Sport. And the colorway is... hold on. I have it on the front of the tag now. And I ended up balling up my yarn because the Knit Picks skeins tend to fall apart. So...
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Knit Picks. I love the yarn to work with. But it doesn't matter if you cake it.
No, it doesn't matter.
You have to ball it.
Yeah. So I balled this up when I started working on the sweater itself. And this colorway is Frieza. And yeah, my next one.
Oh, okay.
Because all I do is show off the color because you finished talking about that one.
Okay.
So, next is... I only worked on this one. I did a few rows this morning. This is my Plover Bird TARDIS Bigger on the Inside bag. In here is KF Jones Dobbinwood pattern, and I call the project TARDIS Traveler. Someone had finished their Dobbinwood recently, and it made me remember how much I want the Dobbinwood to own and wear. So it made me want to pull out mine to work on.
Didn't she say something about the fact that if you didn't want to do the...
I don't recall her saying anything like that.
I have to figure out. I thought she said something.
I have no recollection of that, sorry.
I have to see what she said. I don't know if she said you could do actual garter or ribbing or what.
I don't remember her ever saying that.
I have to ask her. I really don't like the...
Mom has a hate relationship with moss stitch.
It's not hate. I just don't like it very much.
Uh-huh.
'Cause it's not hard. I just get confused to where I am.
But sorry, my yarn's a little tangled. There we go. So I actually need to, when I get to these these detachable stitch markers later on, I need to go ahead and grab my metal ring ones and put them in there instead, so they stop pulling away from the tension on my actual work.
But they're not on the actual work though, right?
No,
Yeah.
I was just using them to separate because at that point I didn't have enough that were the same. It was before I started doing a lot of color work and got the plain metal rings.
And I want to be quite clear that I love Kay's patterns, and I am looking forward to finishing it. It looks beautiful. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do about that.
So this bright blue, all this is of what is skein, Miss Babs. This bright blue is Zing. This black is Obsidian. I think I had started to knit a sweater out of Obsidian and then yanked it out. Yes. And then this is just natural Miss Babs up here. So it's going to be a very dramatically colored.
It's a Nightwing.
And I really enjoy it. I think I bartered for another skein of Zing from you.
Probably.
I think I gave you something for yours.
Yeah. I don't remember what you gave me, but I'm sure you gave me something.
I gave you one of the colors.
Yeah.
Or both of them, I can't remember now.
Well, we tend to do that.
Um,
It's a lot less expensive than going to buy something.
yeah. Especially if it's not being used by the other, we tend to be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We know that we'll get it back at some point. I'm using, what are these, Knit Pro?
Knit Pro Zings.
Knit Pro Zings. And it kind of matches my project too, because that bluish purple. These are US 7s.
I had to laugh because Cozy Up Knits use the same needles that we do too. Although I forget which one it was, said they flip it. I thought they said that. I may be mistaken. Like I said, I was listening to them while I was doing something else, so I can't remember what they said exactly. So I might be misquoting them. They make me laugh. Okay.
This goes.
My last project is in my Universal Studios big bag. When my husband and I went for our 30th anniversary to Florida to Universal Studios a few years back. And this is my Ninja Turtles baby blanket, and this one only got about a row and a half done on it. But I will eventually get out of the green and get into Leo. But this is it. I think I did maybe 2 rows on this. And I'm happy to be back in crocheting. I loved knitting. I do really like knitting, but I'd forgotten how much I enjoy crochet.
Well, that was your start.
And so this is, it's very simple at this point. And it's not a difficult pattern. I mean, it's basically double crochet until you get to the eyes.
One of the things about crocheting that is nice is if you feel like you don't make a lot of progress in knitting, you can see the progress much easier.
In the crochet. It's also easier, arguably, unless you have a yarn like that one yarn where I couldn't tink back and I had to rip it out. It's easier to rip back and get back to where you were.
You see, what I prefer about knitting, because I also do both, but what I prefer about knitting is the fact that you can drop down and fix a mistake.
Right.
Whereas for crochet,
You really have to go back.
you do have to actually
Yeah.
tear back to that point.
You do, and I don't care for Tunisian. If I'm gonna do something that's Tunisian, I prefer to knit it. I do like to knit. I do like to loom knit.
I'm
and
sure Tunisian has its place.
Oh, it does. I just don't care for it. I like knitting and crocheting and loom knitting. I don't care for Tunisian as much, which is not to say there are not some beautiful projects. All you have to do is look on Ravelry or look on some of the other places, and you'll see them. And I was thinking as I'm talking about that, I'm thinking of those loom knit projects that Tammy does. And oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that woman is an artist.
Well, I think I showed Legless on the front of the episode 1 or 2 episodes ago.
Oh, she's just amazing with that. It's like she that woman paints with yarn.
Yes, she does.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
So,
I hope she's blushing.
my last project.
We love
You haven't
Tammy.
seen this one in a long time. This is in my very large,
Isn't that your design bag?
it used to be my design bag, one of my design bags. My very large Plover Bird Kissing Bunnies bag. This is my, I think I call it, it's a little chilly Afghan blanket, or,
Yeah, I think that's what you call it.
hang on.
It's a little chilly mitered square blanket, I think is what you call it.
Just a little chilly just a little chilly mitered square Afghan. And I have it down on my Lovecrafts page as being based upon Kay's pattern.
That's KF Jones.
KF Jones' pattern. Hold on, because my memory is not awesome. Stitch in Time. But honestly, I started this before the Stitch in Time was written up as a pattern. It was based on, at that time, something that she had. She didn't have a pattern written out. She had
A video,
tutorials
yeah. Mhm.
for how to do miter square blankets the way she did it. And that's when that's what I base all my miter square blankets upon. I have a Stitch in Time going with the squares and all that, but for me right now, I prefer to have the big project laid out on my lap.
I really wish I could get behind squares. Doesn't matter if it's knitted or crocheted, I get bored.
So, this one's my one with now I tend to use, this one's my sport weight.
Those are big
worsted weight
squares.
yarn. Yeah, and this one I was trying something, see if I wanted to do bigger squares. My first original one, which is still in a bag, that's more of a bed size one. This is an Afghan size
Right.
one.
That isn't huge?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that had, like, those have squares that are, I think it's a 32 count. This is a 55 count.
Yeah, I tried one that big, like in the 40s or 50s. I kept ripping it back and making it smaller because I wanted something I could finish quickly, and that wasn't it.
Right. So, I started this, I finished this one. Can't remember where that red came from.
Really pretty.
Honestly, it's really pretty. But this one's from MPKC.
Right. This isn't my Water Maroon. It's something else.
No, I'm not sure what that is.
This almost looks like black cherry or something.
I feel like I used it to make a hat.
I think you used it to make your wormhead hat.
That was a heavier yarn.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. It could have been leftovers someone gave me. I can't
Yeah,
really be
yeah.
sure. But this one here is MPKC.
In case you are new, Miss Peppermint Kitty Cat. This little girl up here. You got the thing in the way. She can't see
Okay.
it. This little. Can you see it?
Yeah, they can see her.
Okay.
So, I'm probably about halfway through,
That's really nice.
I would think, because it's an Afghan. Maybe a little less than halfway.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. Because
This
this,
is pretty. The way it worked out.
yeah, it is.
This is wild hair, I think.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I have one like this, but I don't know if
No, I don't think
I
that's
think that's
you.
wild hair.
This one's you. But
This is the one you did your socks.
yes. But they can't see the ones you're pointing at farther down to the bottom.
Right. I'm just looking at them.
But yeah, actually, I'm going to leave this on my lap because I'm a little chilly. But this is, I kind of wanted something a little heavier on my lap. Some of my crochet blankets don't quite hit the chill. Not because they're not heavy. They're definitely heavy. It's just that sometimes it feels like the air gets through the holes.
Right.
And I just wanted something,
Oh, the crochet ones are really heavy, but
I just wanted something knitted on my lap.
I love this color.
And
That's it.
that's
No.
no, I can't remember what that is.
What is that? It's not the Shire.
It might be the Shire.
That's really pretty. I really like that colorway. It's got all the greens and blues and stuff.
But yeah, this was kind of, I started working on it again Thursday night, I think. And it's kind of been what I've wanted to work on. Just because it's relaxing. I forgot how relaxing it was.
Right.
So, yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, I don't have any more projects.
Okie dokie. So that leads us on to FOs. Do you have any FOs?
Nope.
I do. I was so close to finishing this last week. So I finished it this week. This is another one of the Baby Rabbit Beanies by Sandra
It
Yeager.
looks like a whale.
Hey, don't insult the bunny.
No, right here it looks like a whale. It's just a whale at the tail. And it
Poor
is a
little
bunny.
bunny.
It is a bunny, but it looks like a whale.
So,
It's cute.
another very bright one.
It is.
Um,
That's such a cute little hat. How much does it stretch? That's pretty good.
yeah. And this is, it comes in 3 sizes, extra small, small, and medium. This is the medium size. Her pattern is originally designed with finger weight yarn. I chose to do more of like a sport weight, and I'm using US 6 needles. And that's worked out very well for me.
Okay, so is that the only FO you have?
Yes, yarn shop news.
Okay, my yarn shop news. I have 2 ginormous boxes of bare yarn that are sitting where you would be sitting if we were talking to you across like this. I have a couple of things in the works. Like I said, I have something in the works with Laura from Knitter's Magic. And then I will have, I'm not sure how many, I'm going to be putting together, I think, Advent kits. Now, they're not going to be the traditional 12 days of Christmas or 24 days. They're going to be the 4 weeks. They're going to be fingering sock weight yarn, and it's going to have 1 full skein of yarn and 4 50-gram skeins. So you're going to have like 460 yards for the Christmas one, and then for the 4 weeks of Advent, they're like 230 yards a piece. So it's like a total of 4, 8, it's like 1,200 yards, okay? And I'm not going to have a whole bunch of them because I don't know how much interest there's going to be. And the colors may or may not go together. In other words, the big skein may or may not go with the smaller skeins. That's why I want to go with a 50-gram skein, so that you can make something with 50 grams of fingering weight. You can make a hat, you can make shorty socks, you can make, I think you can make a scarf. You know, so you can make things with that by itself. So it may or may not work together with one or more of the other skeins. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have, you know, how many different color options I'll have available. It might just be one because this is new for me. You're kind of going to get what you get. If I decide to just go one color, I'll try and show it to you. But if you're interested, let me know. I have to check on the price range for that. I have an idea in my head, but I prefer not to say it on the podcast. I will wait until I have a set price to do that.
Right.
And I think I will have maybe 4 of those, possibly 5. Okay, and that's
So very limited.
very limited edition, and because I have other things going for Christmas and stuff with other people, so I don't want to overload myself. And that will be, like I said, the 4 weeks of Advent, not 12 days of Christmas or 25 days or whatever. I have already something going for that. So, I did do some yarn dyeing yesterday. I finally got a chance to get back to the dye pots. I was watching Chem Knits. She's wonderful. She did a new to me technique that I wanted to try. So I did that. I varied it a little bit because she was using 10-gram minis and I was not. So I hope that it works out. I was thinking about doing something else with it, but I think I want to see how this works out just the way it is first. And then if I decide I want to do it again, then I can do that. But right now, and it will be a set, most likely, depending on how it works out. So I'm excited to be trying new techniques, to have a lot of things in the works. I'm hoping to maybe have a couple of sock sets coming out. Again, they will be limited. And then, you know, I am updating the shop. I have been updating a little every day this week. I have one more update to do this week, and then I'm updated until I get more stuff to put in. So I do want to reiterate that if you are interested in the dysautonomia, I think I have 2 skeins of the zebra. If it's not a horse, it might be a zebra. And I think I have 2 of Telltale Heart. The coupon code is in Lady Furnico Creations update, I believe. If you don't see it there, check the cardiac dysautonomia.
But it only counts for dysautonomia.
It only counts for the
zebra.
for the zebra and for the Telltale Heart. So, and that's 20% off. So you have to be a member of the group to get that code if you would like it. Okay. And I think that's all for the shop.
I'm sorry.
Oops. It's a bunny.
It is. That's actually a Valeria bunny.
It is a Valeria bunny. Okay.
Autobiography.
Okay. Before we get into this is the autobiography. That's where we do all the stuff, right?
Yeah, we might hit some of the what are you reading stuff first.
I'm not reading much of anything. I've been going over the shared story to keep it fresh, and I'm reading Spectre of the Past still, which is Star Wars, and I have started reading again The Power of Silence by Cardinal Sarah. I'm really not doing a lot of reading. I've been doing so many other things, real life things, that I haven't had a chance to really read a whole lot.
I finished re-listening to, because for some reason I can't seem to get past the 2 books Brother Cadfael, just because I'll stop reading for a while because maybe I'm out of a murder mystery mood.
Yeah.
And then when I want to start reading again, I want to go back to the 2 I've already read.
Yeah.
So I need to get past the first 2.
Yeah, you need to read some of the other ones.
Well, I've read like half of the 3rd one, I think.
You need to read some of the other ones.
But
Morbid Taste for Bones.
Morbid Taste for Bones is the 2nd one.
Yeah.
The first one I finished listening to. I'm re-listening to the 2nd one. The 2nd one I really like, so sometimes I re-listen to it.
Well, it's one of our favorite characters comes in that one. So.
Yeah, and
It's
they did a
introduced.
really good job of introducing his character. Yeah. So I've been doing that since I'm tired.
Okay, so before we go into other things and say goodbye to those who don't want to stay here. Oh, before we do that, we did have a wonderful gift.
Oh,
Christina,
yes.
I didn't write to you because I wanted to do it on the podcast first. Christina's Mama C. She's always extremely generous with us for our alongs and things like that. And she's just a sweetheart. And we got the surprise package in the mail, I think it was 2 days ago. And it's from Christina. And first she gave us this little message, this cute little card. She wrote a cute little note, and she told us what this stuff is for. She said we can use it for whatever podcast along we want to. And Christina, regarding your difficulties on here, if you continue to have difficulties with the group in terms of technical things, do contact one of us. Rena. Rena is amazing. Talia, if she's on, I'm not very technically oriented, but I will try to help you if I can. I'm glad to hear that you won't give up.
Yeah, thank
we
you.
want you to feel comfortable. We don't want to lose you. So if you're having issues, contact somebody. Try Patty, Sylvie if she's there, Valeria, anybody. We have moderators who can help you. We have people who are very tech savvy that I don't even know who they are on the group who can help you. They're much more tech savvy than I am. Talia can help you when she's on, but just ask and check out the help thread.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sure you have, but take a look, okay? Now, this is what she gave us. She sent Talia some minis.
Thank you. It's almost like you somehow knew I was going to start working my blanket again.
I'm not sure what kind of yarn they are, but they're really pretty.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell you. Blacker yarns. Oh, I've heard about blacker yarns. I've never used it. Kay likes blacker yarns, I think.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I think she likes black yarns.
And then
this is called Blacker Swan.
Oh, pretty.
Okay, so hang on. I think it's actually Blacker Swan, and Blacker Yarns is the
Let's see.
is the people who make it, because that's in the back. But if you
Blacker Yarns,
Blacker Swan.
Blacker Swan.
So I'm thinking that
Blacker Swan might be the like this might be the company, and this might be like, you know, you have the sport weight name or whatever.
Okay.
And then, you know, like the base or whatever. It doesn't seem to have a color, though, does it? From Swan Inlet Farm, DK. Doesn't seem to have a colorway name on it. Unless... maybe black...
Dyed Sky Gray.
Dyed Sky Gray. So maybe that's what it is. You know, maybe
Yeah.
worsted is Blacker Swan.
Yeah.
So that's really pretty. And then she sent us for
Well, it's worsted spun. It's DK weight.
right. So maybe DK is the Blacker Swan.
Yeah.
These are what she sent us for
very much
prizes. This is Big Fable print. I've heard a lot of Big Fable, Drops Big Fable. I've never used it. It's this is I think it's an Aran weight. It seems to be a little thicker than a worsted.
Yeah,
it's not
I
a
think
bulky.
you might be right.
It's and I think Drops Fable is a European, so it might be an Aran weight.
Well, just like this Blacker Yarns, I think is European.
Yeah, 100 grams. 164 yards. Yeah, I think it's probably Aran weight. Drops Fable, which is really, really, it's a pretty colorway, so that's really nice. And then this is an opal, and this is a German yarn, so all this stuff in German.
It's kind of camo-y.
Yeah, it's pretty though.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of elves.
Hmm.
Hergestellt in Deutschland von. Something in German, I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
Tutu? Tweetu? Tutu?
Oh, there's two. I thought there was an I in there.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't read any German whatsoever. Nurgarn aus einer Partie
It's a party.
Rewardet.
Yay.
I have no idea what this is.
It's opal.
It's beautiful opal, and it's 75% superwash merino, 25% polyamide. That much I can get just by reading what it says, and it's 100 grams, 425 meters. So I guess this is a fingering sock, and it's probably
fingering sock.
probably about 430 or 440 yards or something like that. So isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it has some blue in it as well. This is blue, and this is navy, and there's green.
Oh, I hadn't realized you're right. I think that is navy.
It's a really pretty yarn. So thank you, Christina.
Thank
you
you
are
so
always
much,
more
Christina.
than generous. We are very, very appreciative of this. Thank you very much. Now, if you don't want to hear about life stuff, I want to bid you goodbye
Adieu.
and hope that we see you next week. But before you go, we want to thank our YouTube commenters, Rena, Pat, Valeria, Brittany, LNS Crafts, and Wombat of Doom 53. We are glad that you comment there, and whoever commented on the threads, if you did, we are thankful for that as well. I think I got to everybody. As I always say, if I haven't contacted you, responded to you, or Talia hasn't, it's because we didn't see it before the podcast, okay?
And thanks everyone for your kind comments about how I looked better last week than the week before. Definitely felt better.
Yes, she's feeling a lot better, which is nice.
Wheelchair's helping a lot. Still fatigued and
Yeah,
stuff, but
yeah. So now we're going to say, if you don't want to hear about the house and Talia's health and life stuff, we'll say, we understand. We'll see you later. We hope to see you back for the Fun in the Women Cave next week. And we'll give you a couple minutes here to get your bags and your tea and toddle
Gather your
along.
stuff,
Toddle
yeah.
along. Toddling. Yes, it is a reference. A very, very, very obscure reference to a movie. So we'll assume that they're gone and go into the personal stuff. Okay?
yes.
Do you want to start with the house? Or
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The renovations are finished, finally. We just have to sign the check from USAA and pay the balance that's due for the renovation part. It was a very stressful week because every time they came in, something was wrong. The latest stressor was that the toilet wouldn't fit. So it was interesting. Thankfully, the upshot was they brought a new toilet. The other one that we got went downstairs, which we have a basement bathroom. We wanted to replace that toilet anyway. It just barely fit, but it did fit. So that one's downstairs. We didn't lose any money on that. And the upstairs bathroom is finished. My husband and I, when we're done with the podcast and all this kind of stuff, we're going to go out to eat, and then we're going to pick out the new accoutrements for the bathroom, the new curtains, the new rugs, the bath mat, the shower curtain, all that kind of stuff, so it doesn't feel like an echo chamber when we walk in there and do stuff. I took a shower in there this morning. I wasn't going to, and he said, why not? And I said, well, I didn't want to slip. It doesn't look like it has a lot of grip. But when we bought the tub, they said that all the tubs now have grippies on the tub. It's slippery. It's a little slick. So
Well, now you also know.
now I know. And the shower head is great.
Oh, good.
I like the shower head. It took us a while to figure out. It's one of those multiple things where you turn it. And
Like
you,
in all the hotel rooms?
yeah, so you can get the different sprays. And when I kept turning it, I was moving it. And so my husband went in there and he looked at it, and he finally figured it out. I mean, he's smart. He figured it out real quick. So you just have to hold it still while you do it. And it's kind of, I thought it was going to be too, not enough pressure. It's a really nice shower head. So it's done. It's not quite to what we thought it would be in terms of the paint we selected and things like that. We went off those little
cards.
you see the cards, but it's not like the cards that you see there where they're in the little shelves where you pick them out. It was one of those things that opens up like a jackknife.
Mm-hmm.
And so we picked out the colors and showed him. And my husband was with me to pick it. He said I could do whatever I wanted, but I wanted him to see it because this has to be
Mm-hmm.
in our house together, not my house. And I also wanted to make sure I was seeing the colors right
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the bathroom and stuff like that. And he agreed with them. So we looked at him. He said, yeah, okay. And I thought what we were going to get was kind of a dusty rose with a kind of a mauvey, dark, deep, kind of pinky red kind of color as the accents. And the accents weren't too far off, but the rest of it is a lot brighter. It's not that dusty rose that I thought it was. And what I think happened was Mike insisted, we said it several times, we want mildew resistant semi-gloss paint. They came back with what was it called? It wasn't semi-gloss. It didn't say matte, but it was like a matte, and it wasn't mildew resistant.
Mm-hmm.
So we sent them back. We didn't want that in our, in the bathroom. You need mildew resistant. Well, apparently this place puts stuff in the paint to do that, but the base paint still was the wrong thing. I think when they got the right paint, they might not have gotten the color right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's slightly different. And I mean, it's okay. We're toning it down with what we're putting in it, but it was a little disappointing. It was not a great experience. I think if God was trying to teach me patience, I failed. But it's done, and now things should get somewhat back to normal, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
So that is that part. We can say
Close
closed.
that book.
Close that book. Well, we still have to pay them, but closed.
Yeah.
And we did get a new plumber out of it, so
That's good.
yeah.
Then that leads us on to health stuff. So the wheelchair has been helping a lot. I still get fatigue, especially at the end of the day, after a long work day. And sometimes, in medical terminology, we call it malaise, where you just feel,
Blah.
not blah, you feel ill.
Oh yeah, because I know that when you use it, like if you're reading about something, they usually say malaise is like kind of, but it's probably different. In
Yeah, malaise, it's like you feel ill, just sick.
icky. Like nausea.
You kind of feel a little nauseated. For me, it was also like you feel chilled, like when you have an infection or something,
Right.
and you flip back and forth, and you just feel. Sometimes you don't even know. You just feel unwell.
Right.
And that was the way Wednesday was. And you're kind of lethargic, and you're just having trouble working. So I made it through that day, but
I think that was the day you came home 4:30, right?
yes.
You got to understand though, she goes in around 8, so she does get her 8 hours in.
Yeah. I usually come in around 8, and I can leave as late as 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But the wheelchair makes those things possible. I usually have some sort of discomfort back here, but I'm able to make it through. One of the things I did want to mention is, we had both wanted to mention, was a pharmacy experience we had. I use the pharmacy that is connected to my particular work. They deliver it right to the office for me, and at times they will deliver it to my home if they aren't able to catch me at the office. It works out very well. Then they can either, I don't know why I'm going to this, I wanted to mark it off in my row. They were unable to get one of my medications because the supplier was on back order, so they called around, found another pharmacy with a different supplier in the area who could get me my medication. I only missed one dose. It was something for the MCAS, which is another diagnosis I have. So we went to the pharmacy. First, it was a little independent pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like actually it was in what used to be a house.
Right.
But would have been a very small house.
Right.
But the first thing that I noticed when we drove up was like, oh, this is going to be a problem. Because I chose to come in my wheelchair because I was coming from work and I was trying to save my spoons for the rest of the workday because I still had patients I needed to see. So I came around lunch break, or actually was my lunch break. And first thing I noticed was there's no handicap accessible entrance.
They had a ramp on the side, but
It wasn't a ramp. It was a path.
It was an inclined path. It was not a step, so I considered that a ramp. But it didn't complete the thought, so to speak, and go into the doorway. There were steps.
Yeah.
And so we had to get.
And when they were steep.
They were steep, and it was very narrow.
Yes.
And then to combine that, they had plants over here and
on the steps.
On the steps. Now Davina was carrying stuff for us, and I was helping Talia with the wheelchair. To give them the benefit of the doubt, they may not have seen us having trouble to begin with. It took a lady who was coming in older than myself, I'm sure. She must have been 5 years older than me at least, and maybe more. She helped us to get the chair in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And asked if I was going to be okay, because I was using my cane to stand just because I was really trying to save as much energy as I could.
And she was very sweet, and we got Talia set, and the place was set up nicely in terms of it was spacious. Everything was along the walls.
Yeah.
So there was a big,
but it was still
open
small.
Space. But there was plenty of room for the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And in this space that she had plenty of room, Taya felt like she was in the way.
Yes.
And I felt it was a very, very unfriendly experience.
The desk is facing you right as you walk in. It's like looking right at the door.
There was no hello. There was no how you were doing. There was no
acknowledgement.
No. Can I assist you? Or I'm working with this customer right now, but I'll be right with you. Nothing. Customers would say things.
Yeah.
But so Taya's waiting, and I'm sitting down where the waiting area, and Taya does her stuff, and we get ready to go out. There's a man, a good sized man, talking to another lady over here. A worker,
probably a pharmacist.
And we're trying to get out, and there was not from the lady behind the desk, not from the guy here. Either one of them could say, I'll just be a minute. I'll be right back. Let me help them get out, and then I'll be right back. Or, hey, if you just wait a minute, I just need to talk to this lady, and I'll help you out. There was nothing. They just kind of, it was like...
There was no acknowledgement that there might have even been difficulty getting in with the chair.
Yeah, I mean, there was getting out, I thought I was going to knock over the flower pot, and we managed to get out without any... I had to move it a little bit. But there was absolutely
I felt like I was an inconvenience to them.
Yeah, we will never go back there. We would never send anybody there. When Taya told her coworker about it, she was absolutely mortified.
Yeah, because, she expected an independent pharmacy to treat people better, and she uses them herself. But she was horrified. She said she would move my stuff back, and they would find a way to get my medicine in the future. I've never had such a bad experience customer service.
And it's like I said to Talia, it wasn't the fact that they were not very handicap friendly in terms of accoutrements. I understand that. They're a small place. It looks like a converted house.
I don't understand it. I feel like a pharmacy needs to be.
Well, I agree. But my point is, and I agree with that. As a special educator, I agree with that. But my point is, given that situation, they should have been efforts made to help you in and out. And if they didn't know at the beginning, then they say, well, next time call ahead, and we'll make sure somebody's there to help you with the door, help you get in, help you get out, and that kind of stuff. And once you're there, even if it is the first time, they help you out. And we would have waited a few minutes until one of them could have helped.
Yeah.
And even if we didn't use them, it's the extra.
Well, what if it had been someone who wasn't a walking wheelchair user?
Right.
I could get up out of the wheelchair.
This time. She might not have been able to get a rollator up there by herself.
Right. What if it was someone who literally did not have the use of their legs? They would not have been able to get in at all. So I felt like it was poor service on multiple levels.
Yeah. And we know that they could have had a bad day, but I just kind of got the feeling that there was not a smile, there was not an acknowledgement, and it wasn't even just to Ty. This is why I say this. It was anybody who came in. It was just kind of like, Okay, your number. Boom, boom, boom. Not how are you or wow, it's good to see you again. Nothing.
Yeah.
The customer service was appalling.
Yeah. And, you know, it's just, I always feel self-conscious anyway when, and this comes into a different thing that's more POTS related. I always feel self-conscious when I come into a place where I'm not known and I have to stand up out of the wheelchair because there is a misconception, I do believe, that if you're in a wheelchair, you should not be able to stand.
And that's a fallacy. That's a fallacy.
That is a fallacy. With people with POTS and some of these other,
We have a neighbor who has, a motorized little. He's not in a wheelchair. What would you call that thing? He's kind of like a scooter.
Yeah.
He can't walk very well, and he's always in his thing. He, for whatever reason, but people, I've seen him stand.
Oh, I've never seen him stand.
I've seen him stand. I believe, but the point is, he's one that people might say, "Get up."
Yeah, and I have two. I actually have three fairly rare conditions, but two of them lend themselves towards wheelchair use. EDS, which is a connective tissue disorder, I don't tend to dislocate, but there are a lot of people with this condition who do dislocate easily. So for them, a wheelchair can be a way to avoid dislocating something and falling.
Right.
They are capable of standing, but it can be dangerous for them and painful for them if they do. And then with the POTS, for me and for for other people with it, not everybody, but I get symptoms of lightheadedness, fatigue, feeling like I'm gonna faint. And by fatigue, I don't mean, I'm a little tired. I mean like extreme
debilitating
fatigue where you almost can't think or act because you're so darn exhausted. But not like I need to take a nap exhausted. Like everything takes every fiber of your being to do it. That's what I mean by fatigue. And this isn't to garner sympathy or anything like that. This is just trying to explain.
This is part of the awareness, and
Yeah.
some of this will go away when we're
Yeah.
out of dysautonomia.
But the thing is, those things make it so that way for me to make it through the workday and possibly avoid these sudden things that come on very quickly without warning. I might think I'm fine one moment, and the next moment be extremely fatigued, weak, and possibly not be able to walk, because I have had periods of time where I've not been able to walk. Having a wheelchair to use, it gives you freedom to go places when you might not be able to walk otherwise. But the point of that is that a lot of people, I'm not going to even say some, a lot of people feel that they don't have the right to use a wheelchair if they are physically able to move their limbs and stand.
And that's a fallacy.
So this is partially not even just an awareness for POTS, but just an awareness in general.
Yeah.
Just because you see someone who uses a handicap space who doesn't look like they need it,
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
or looks like they're using a wheelchair and it doesn't look like they need it, they might be able to stand for those moments that you're looking at them, but that could change very quickly.
And I seem to think that this is more prevalent for people who are younger.
Yes,
That
I think
if
you're
there's an
probably right.
older person, like it wouldn't cross your mind if you saw someone who was a 75-year-old grandma who's kind of hunched
Who
over.
looks frail.
Who looks frail, and she gets into a wheelchair. She's able to get out of the car by herself and walk to the wheelchair. You don't think anything of her getting into a wheelchair. It can be the same if you're 15.
And I mean, I think it also is because with people with certain conditions, POTS included in that, you look physically healthy. You don't have the wasted away look that like if say you were the same 15-year-old, or say you're still my age, but you looked gaunt and you looked weak, that might not be questioned. But the thing is, with some of these conditions, they're invisible, so they don't carry their mark on them until you use the assistive equipment and can't do what you physically expect. So I guess the upshot is, I know it sounds obvious, but you don't know what's lurking underneath the surface.
And we honestly didn't want me to get into this because we talked about this last week.
I can't remember.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
But we just wanted to share the experience at that particular pharmacy.
Yeah.
And in case people, just have gone through the same kind of thing, that it's discouraging, and we just didn't understand why, it was what it was. But anyway, so that's that. Okay, moving on to getting out of here, indie bits, as Kay and Dan would say. I do want to remind you that the housewarming yarn is still up for grabs, and that will be up for grabs until midnight on August 31st. In other words, going into September 1st. And then I will close the thread, or somebody will close the thread, and I will pull for the winners. We have quite a few people in it. That's awesome. If you're interested in it, it's the Auld Lang Syne colorway, that kind of a lavender color, and there's a picture of it in the thread. So if you want to try to win that, put in for it. 1 entry per person. Sorry. Okay. And I'd love to see, thank you for the compliments on it. It will be available for purchase later in the year as we get toward Christmas and New Year's. But this is kind of a sneak, in case I don't get to it or whatever. But I hope to have more of that in the shop later. So go ahead and put in for that if you'd like that. Okay. All right. So we hope to podcast next weekend. Ty's got a doctor's appointment on the 30th. 30th?
30th.
Yeah, 30th. So
I don't anticipate a whole lot of change being made. I'm still waiting to both of the neurosurgeons. Oh, did I even mention to them last?
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of the neurosurgeons that I am, that I was suggested to, I could choose one or the other. I'm on a waiting list for both of them. And one of them usually has a waiting list of, usually they make most of their appointments 8 to 12 years out. I mean, months.
Months, not years.
Months. 8 to 12 months out.
We're hoping for the one in Maryland because they pray before
surgery.
So there's no guarantee she has to have surgery.
And that one's the 8 to 12 months.
Yes. So we will see. Okay. Yeah. So we hope to see you back here for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. We wish you, in the meantime, a very, very wonderful, blessed week, full of knitting, crocheting, crafting, whatever it is that makes you happy. And we hope to see you here again for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 369, and that's a wrap.
Bye.